Hello there ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's Alexander Hilly123 here and it's time for a new video. It's time for a new video in the pickups playlist today, my first in a good 3 months on the channel. And I've got to be honest with you guys, today I have got a lot of games to discuss with you. Got lockets, I'm ill again, I'm ill yet again, can't believe it. But yeah, today we've got, altogether, incredibly, 7 games. 5 physical, 2 digital on the 360, the PS4, Xbox One. Quite crazy indeed. And there are more after the games that I'm discussing in this video. So there are 9 more games that I've picked up, both digital and physical, over 4 different consoles that I will only be showing you guys after this video in 2 or 3 months time. So we have a backlog of pickups. It's all good though, it's all good. And also, ladies and gentlemen, just got to say that I have, in the last week, purchased a PS3. So I will be purchasing and playing a lot of PS1 classics. Both digital off the PSN store and physically also, because I didn't realise that any PS1 game would work on the PS3. So I've been playing, some old school games and I never anticipated me being able to play again. I mean, I've got them on the PS2, but it just kind of sucks playing it on that console because they look like shit. They can be smoothed and upscaled a little bit on the PS3. But anyway, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the first game I'm going to talk about is this, Half-Life 2, and Episode 1 and 2, Team Fortress 2 and Portal. And I primarily purchased this for Half-Life, and I am right at the end of the game. I'm still playing it. Been playing it for about 2 weeks, but I purchased this quite a few months ago. And I've got to say that I'm also going to have to really, with this camera, stop bringing it into shot and out of shot because it fucks up the camera. It's still early days with me with this webcam, but it's autofocusing. It's going crazy, so I'm going to have to stop doing that. But yeah, I purchased this, the Half-Life 2, Portal, Team Fortress 2, the Orange Box Collection, for £2.50, so not much money at all. Near the end of Half-Life 2, like I say. I didn't get on with the game early doors, but I've started to enjoy it a hell of a lot more. The ending has been a little bit annoying with the Striders, annoying enemies, because the rocket launchers on that game, they don't work as they should do. They kind of lock onto the target, but some of them can just fly off in distance. I don't get it. But overall, Half-Life 2 has been a lot of fun. I really enjoy the gravity gun. Nice array of weapons. Love the crossbow. And yeah, I've had fun. We'll see what I make of Episode 1 and 2, because I'll be playing that when I complete the main game. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, is a game that I played a couple of hours of and then never picked up again. I will have to get back into the game. It's not that I wasn't enjoying it, it's just how it is with me. Sometimes I stop playing a game and I can't get into it. It's just that if I'm not busy, I go on and move on to a different game. That happened with Dishonored way back in, I think, late 2012, early 2013. That game was made free on Xbox Live. It's pretty crazy when you think of it, how soon they released that for free. Like a year after it was released, Dishonored, it was free on Xbox Live. And I remember enjoying it. It's just that, like I say, yet again, I became incredibly busy and I couldn't go back to it. But now that everyone's talking about Dishonored 2, I really want to go back to Dishonored 1. But anyway, next up, ladies and gentlemen, is Until Dawn. Purchased this, and I can't really say much about it, because like I say, I only played a couple of hours. But it was intriguing, it was fun. A whole host of ridiculously cheesy and unlikable characters that I will not mind seeing them all die, to be honest with you, but we'll see how it goes. But basically, this is like, the Telltale games, and obviously it's got a horror vibe, so I love my horror. And I will get into that. I was enjoying it, just need to get back into it. I wanted at the time to play something that was pure gameplay and not just, multiple choice decisions like that is. But next up, ladies and gentlemen, is the sequel to a game that was in my previous pickups video and that I ended up enjoying quite a lot. Still not played this. I started it, played an hour of it, and then same happened with Until Dawn. I've got a bad attention span, ladies and gentlemen. I stopped playing. But it is Condemned 2. And I really enjoyed Condemned 1. It's first person, a mixture of melee weapons and gunplay, but the gunplay was very limited. Really good survival horror. Condemned 1 was from 2005, Condemned 2 is 2008. And yeah, it was just really satisfying because you would get a handgun with 5 bullets, a shotgun with 2 bullets, a magnum revolver with 1 bullet, you get a 2x4 plank, you get a metal pipe, you get minimal usages of these things. You always have a taser as well, which is your weapon to stun enemies with and keep them stuck in place. And I really liked the gameplay. The gameplay dynamic was really good. And I wasn't anticipating it being like that. So I will definitely be completing Condemned 1 on hard in the future. As for Condemned 2, like I say, I've not played it yet, so I can't say anything about it, but it seems very different. The character that you play is totally different. It's like another man. It's supposedly got some supernatural bullshit going on. Supposedly it's much less of a horror game and more of a kind of manhunt vibe going on. Not 100% sure of this so far, but I'm definitely going to give it a shot. I'm excited to play it, but I have a slight feeling I'm going to end up preferring Condemned 1. Next up on the list, ladies and gentlemen, a collection of games. I am yet to play the latest game, which was released back in May, but I have now found out, ladies and gentlemen, about the legend of Mr. Nathan Drake. This is the Uncharted Collection, which features all the first 3 Uncharted games, Drake's Fortune, Among Thieves and Drake's Deception, and I've had a lot of fun on these games. These are absolutely fantastic, and yeah, I'm a fan. Can't wait to play the 4th game, which is the last in the series, so obviously everything's going to come to a conclusion one way or another. But my favourite of these 3 games is definitely Uncharted 2, then Uncharted 3, and the first game has aged somewhat, but Uncharted 1 was 2007, Uncharted 2 2009, and Uncharted 3 2011. Now obviously these games have been made to look better for the PS4, but nevertheless they look beautiful even on the PS3. I've had a look online and the graphics in these games are absolutely fantastic. But what I really like about this game is that within the gunplay you only get to choose 2 weapons. So you've got a handgun or a shotgun, a grenade launcher and a handgun. You can't have 2 big weapons, so you can't have a shotgun and a grenade launcher, for example. In the 2nd and 3rd game there are also rocket launchers, but they're very, very rare. There are also magnum revolvers, very rare. You always get grenades to throw at enemies, and it's weird because Uncharted is such an action game and it's a pure shooter, but it has a lot in common with old survival horror games, and that's something that I've never heard anyone talk about, but it's true, because you find heavier, powerful weapons, but they're very, very rare, and you've got to use them in the right way, and I really like that. It's a very, very simple dynamic, but it works well. And also, you know, in Gears of War they've got the active reload, so when you reload your weapon in time, at that little point you see on the screen, it goes from one side to the other and you hit it right. I think the Uncharted game should have just copied that. I think that would have been absolutely brilliant. But I think you can make your weapons more powerful by engaging in melee combat, but that's one of the things I like least about the Uncharted games, to be honest with you. I don't think the melee works at all. And Uncharted 3 specifically, I don't know what they were smoking, but the puzzles in that game are absolutely diabolical. There are some really peculiar puzzles in Uncharted 3. Some people gave Uncharted 3 a lot of shit I've seen online. It wasn't quite as good as the 2nd game, but it was still a solid game nevertheless. It was just that Naughty Dog at that time were obviously working on The Last of Us, so there you go. But yeah, very excited to play Uncharted 4, and I will purchase it before Christmas. But for now, I've completed all 3 Uncharted games once on normal, and now I'm playing them on the 2nd to hardest difficulty, which I believe is called Crushing. I'm not trying the hardest, which is called Brutal, because that's just fucking bear me, I'll never do that. But yeah, I am currently 50% of the way through the first game. But overall, these are great games, and I'm delighted to have finally played them. Now, 2 digital pickups, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about. The first one is a game that's one of my favourites of all time, and I'm a mug for buying it, I'll admit it, but I don't really care. It is Resident Evil 4 digital, and yeah, I've got it on the 360 now, I've got it on the Xbox One. It looks and plays a tiny bit better. I've got the achievements yet again, because they've obviously doubled up. Was it worth it? Yeah. Why is it worth it? Because I'm going to play Resident Evil 4 again, and again, and again. Am I a little bit annoyed that this is now the gaming culture of remakes and remasters and rehashes and all this shit? Yeah, but I'm a mug, and I don't mind, because I'm a mug for the games that I love. So there we go. The next digital pickup, ladies and gentlemen, is Hotline Miami, which I bought a long time ago with my PS4. Just never got around to speaking about it. And I did about 10 of the levels. It's a really peculiar and unique game. So it's got like the top-down view, very old school. And every single level, you just rush into a building, kill loads of guys who have a melee of guns, get something, and leave. And it's a lot of fun. The music is incredible in this game. But the controls are absolutely diabolical. You can do a level which is really difficult, for like with 20 enemies. The last enemy kills you, got to do it all over again, and you'll usually die due to the controls being dog shit. It's fun, but it's infuriating. Not played it in a while, but I will go back to it. Hotline Miami, I think it was like £10-15, maybe a bit overpriced, but it's fun, but infuriating at the same time. If I end up enjoying it more so and completing it, I might get Hotline Miami too. We'll see how it goes. But the last pickup, ladies and gentlemen, a physical pickup, is none other than Mortal Kombat XL. This is actually Mortal Kombat 10, not 11. But yeah, this is the Mortal Kombat 10 version with all the DLC added. Now, Warner Brothers seem to be one of the worst in terms of modern gaming for DLC, along with companies like Ubisoft, who are complete wankers, and Square Enix, who are pretty bad for that kind of stuff as well, in my experience. But I've not played this yet, can't say absolutely anything about it. All I will say is I enjoyed Mortal Kombat 9. I have always loved the Mortal Kombat series, and I've never really loved any other fighting games. The over-the-top, ridiculous brutality, the characters, and the music of the games, the atmosphere, the level design, the stages, the fatalities, of course, the lore of the game, I've always adored. I mean, I prefer the old school Mortal Kombat games, 1, 2, 3, trilogy. I watched Mr. G-Star321, who is my favourite YouTuber. He did a lot of the PS2 era Mortal Kombat games. I never played them myself, but they look like good fun. They still look like solid games, and it's just absolutely fantastic that 23, 24 years since the first Mortal Kombat, this series is still going strong. And this got mainly good reviews. Not started it yet, but I will do so. Probably not going to get into the multiplayer too much, because I'm just going to get destroyed. But I waited for the price to come down, because there's certain games that I can't justify paying that much money for if I know they're not going to be that replayable for me. So I waited for the price to come down to 20 quid, and then I bought it. I wasn't going to pay £30+ for that. But yeah, I've got all the DLC characters. You've got Jason Voorhees, I think, here, and Borai Cho, who is one of the worst characters in Mortal Kombat history. You've also got Predator and Alien as well. The fuck? But yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. 2 digital, 5 physical. I've had a good time playing games in the last couple of months. All sorts of games that I'm not showing here. And like I said, in the next pickups video, in between 2 and 3 months' time, I've got a hell of a lot of games to show you. Did I even mention in this video I bought a PS3? Well, I bloody have. I might have, I might not have. But I'm happy to have gotten through this video, because I am suffering from man flu yet again. I was ill a few months ago, and I'm ill yet again. It's really hurting to talk. So I'm going to have my lockets, have another cup of tea, and I'll see you soon, guys. Bye-bye.